Sorry, I didn't know you were there. I was actually just doing a little meditation before our upcoming team meeting. Mindfulness. I know, some of you are like, dude, stop with the mindfulness, wasting of time at work, and just get back to work. We got so much to do. But hear me out. Mindfulness is more than just a wellness trend. Did you know that a study done by Aetna found that adding mindfulness practices into the workplace can actually increase the productivity of your team by 62 minutes per employee per week. That's almost 1 extra day of work per month. But I know a ton of you leaders out there are like, Tom, I want to integrate mindfulness into the workplace, but I don't want it to be all rah-rah. I don't want it to be all kumbaya and pounding on drugs. Well, today I'm gonna give you 3 practical, no-nonsense ways to embed mindfulness into your work environment, into your team, your organization, your community, in a way that gives you the benefits that Aetna was talking about in their report, but not in a rah-rah, kumbaya kind of way. To show you what I mean, let's get into this video. I know, the word mindfulness will make some of your eyes roll. But it's not about sitting cross-legged on the floor with our shoes off sipping kombucha. How about instead of saying the word mindfulness, we just say clarity and focus? Because that's the outcome of being more mindful. Imagine your team being less stressed, more focused, and more productive. How would you feel about that? Yes, please. So let me give you 3 ways to embed clarity and focus, wink, wink, into your team, community, and organization. The first idea is called integrated gratitude. At the end of every one of our team's daily huddles, we spend 30 seconds asking each other to quickly write down 3 things we're grateful for that happened over the past 24 hours. They don't have to be work related, they can be anything in our lives. 30 seconds, people write it down. Gratitude has been proven to increase individual performance, directly impacting the team and the organizational output. That's huge, and 30 seconds is all it takes. The reason we call this integrated gratitude is because we're attaching it to something that's already happening throughout the day, which is our team huddle. In the world of habits, this is called habit anchoring. We're anchoring this new habit we want to do, which is gratitude, to an old habit, which is our team huddle, which increases the chance that we're actually going to achieve and do that new habit of gratitude. Now, some groups do ask after the 30 seconds for people to share something they're grateful for. But that's not a requirement at all. The value is received for each individual person by going down on their own to that paper and taking 30 seconds to think about what they're grateful for the past 24 hours. Still not convinced? Well, another study said that employees that show gratitude increases employee engagement, leads to a deeper connection between employees, between the employee and the organization, and the employee and their work. Oh, and by the way, you as the leader, if you use your gratitude to give gratitude to someone on your team for something they did, research shows that it increases that person's productivity by 50% after the meeting. Employees love to feel the gratitude and the value from the work they're doing. Which reminds me, I would like to take this time to send some gratitude to Sammy and Jay on my team for all the hard work that they do in making these videos so great with all the post-production and editing that they do. Wink, wink. The second tip to adding mindfulness into your team, community, or organization is to change the environment. Open office spaces sounded so wonderful when they came out, Look at this, we have no more walls, no more barriers, nothing stands between us. And every new open office space, that idea that was introduced into the space, caused the introverts in the office to have their heart and their souls slowly crush in front of everyone else. Turns out office space idea is not the best idea. In fact, it is often the opposite of mindfulness. But closed bunkers is not the answer. Instead, here are 3 simple ideas that you can embed in your environment and make it more mindful. Number 1, add more plants. Oh, don't mind me, just putting a few plants here. Turns out that greenery isn't just nice to look at, it's actually a powerhouse for calming people down.
Yes, you are right.
According to a 2010 UTS study, workplaces that added plants into that space saw a 30% reduction in teams' anxiety, a 44% reduction in team hostility towards each other. There was a reduction of 40% of chronic fatigue, and 58% reduction in depression. Those are some mind-boggling stats by simply just adding some greenery to your office space. So next time you're deciding what to do, add some greenery to your, okay, I can't work with this. Second tip to changing the environment and making it more mindful is to declutter the space. Declutter isn't just visually ugly. It turns out it also messes with our brains when there's too much stuff piling up and stacked all over the place. Princeton neuroscience study that found when there's too much clutter, it actually competes for the attention of our brain, which leads to a decrease in performance and an increase in stress. So a clean workspace without clutter leads to better concentration and more efficiency. So encourage your team and encourage your people to continuously clean up after themselves and not allow the clutter to build up as it always does. Oh, don't mind me, just cleaning up a little bit here. The third way we can create a more mindful space is to create a quiet room. A quiet place is for those who need to step back, breathe, and just refocus. In fact, 58% of high performers said that when they're in a quiet space and working on a project that excites them, they find that their productivity and problem-solving skills go up. A quiet room can be a haven for deep work, free from that constant buzz of and talking from all the people around you. Also, it's super beneficial for the introverts in your community, in your team, who need that space to recharge their battery, unlike the extroverts who happily hang out with everyone in the open office space. Incorporating these 3 ideas into your space can create a more balanced, more mindful, and a more productive work environment. It's about finding that balance between the open communication and personal space so that they can coexist together. And then we are on to our last and final tip, tip number 3, which is walking meetings. I remember once someone asked to have a meeting and I said to that person, would you be interested in going for a walk to have the meeting? And we sure enough went for that walk, and I have to say it was one of the best meetings I had that entire week. The physical movement made us more productive. So this third tip is about physical movement, because office life is a sedentary life. In fact, majority of the time we're in office, we're sitting down, which is dangerous. I'm sure you've heard the reports that sitting down for the majority of the day leads to all sorts of chronic health issues, such as heart disease, diabetes, and even some cancers. Sitting all day can be detrimental to our health, both physically and also emotionally, with depression and anxiety. So for tip number 3, I'm suggesting you take walking meetings. Yes, you heard that right. Next time someone suggests to have a meeting, ask them if they'd be interested to go for a walk.
Let's take a walk.
With that meeting instead of into the boardroom, which is where we always go. Not only is it fresh air and some vitamin D from the sun, but it also gives us a shift in perspective, because we're physically moving, more blood's gonna be flowing through our bodies, and so we'll be more alert physically and mentally. Why walking meetings, you ask? Well, Stanford University found that people who take walking meetings, it actually increases their creativity by 60%. When we walk, we physically move, which increases our our brain activity, which leads to a better, more productive meeting and conversation. But it's not just about creativity. Taking a walk together can also be a bonding experience. When two people walk together side by side, it creates a more natural bonding environment than sitting across the table from each other. This is especially important on those one-on-one meetings with maybe the people on your team. And let's not forget about the health benefits, not only of just not sitting, but also physically moving. Of course, walking meetings cannot replace all meetings. Sometimes we need the whiteboard, sometimes we need the table, but there's probably several meetings that happen for you throughout the week that you could go for a walk, or they're a phone call or a Zoom call that you could put the headset in and head out of the office and take a walk on your own. And there you have it, the 3 ideas to integrate mindfulness in a simple, non-kumbaya, kombucha sipping way into your office. Bring gratitude into your meetings. Fill your environment with more physical plants, living, breathing plants, and take your meetings on a walk instead of sitting in a boardroom. Try these 3 out. They cost nothing, and the benefits are proven to be through the roof for engagement, productivity, and connection between the people within your team, your organization, your community. If you like these tips, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to keep giving you as a leader plenty more tips on how you can engage your people. Speaking of which, my name is Tom. I'm here to help you to engage your people. I'll see you in the next video.